say it. Oh, sorry. You didn't say it. Excuse me. Okay, sorry.
All right.
Start.
For real this time. What's up, race fans? It's I, Justin Bullitt, coming to you live from the Charlotte Motor Speedway, where the Coca-Cola 600 has just wrapped up. And what a race that was. I actually thought for the Coca-Cola 600, that was one of the better ones I have seen. Although, up front, there wasn't a whole lot going on. Because out of the 400 laps that make up 600 freaking miles that we saw today, Kyle Busch led all but 24 laps. So not a whole lot going up front, which is very surprising for the 600, because most of the times in the Coke 600, in my experience, one guy usually starts out dominating during the daylight, and then by the end of the race, when the sun has gone down, the track changes so much that a lot of the times those types of cars, they can't keep up with the racing surface and they can't keep up with the track, and they fade. Not tonight. Kyle Busch from the start of the race was on point. Joey Logano at the very start in the Penske car, he was able to lead, I don't know, 4 or 5 laps, but then after that, Kyle Busch put that thing in overdrive, and he never let off the entire race. He stayed right there, winning all 4 stages, where they added a 4th stage for that last 100 laps, and he won every single stage tonight. But dang, what a solid race. Martin Truex Jr. Finishes second. Brad Keselowski also gets up there and gets a top 5 finish. He struggled most of the night. Penske struggled all night long, you know, and I got my Menards hat on, my little Ryan Blaney hat. He exploded, ended his race in a blaze of glory, so that wasn't cool. But overall, I thought it was a pretty solid race. Really enjoyed it. It was a good 600, and on top of that, I saw the race with someone. This is Kels Walker, her first NASCAR race.
It was amazing. I freaking enjoyed it. Loved everything about it. Loved the fire, even though it was my guy that blew up.
Show the shirt. Got a new Ryan Blaney t-shirt supporting.
But he's totally fine. Nothing bad happened to him, so I guess that's good luck right there.
That's right. That is good luck. So
it was a lot of fun.
Overall, you know, what do you think about? What do you think about seeing a 600-mile race today? Did you are not a race fan?
No.
You're not a race fan. Would you say you're a race fan now? Or are you still kind of on the fence about it, or is it, you know?
I like it. Surprisingly, actually, I like the speed. I like the vibrations of the cars. It's really fun and exciting.
Vibrations of the cars.
It's very adrenaline pumping, and I definitely would probably go to another one for sure.
Go to another one. Well, I tell you what, I was worried because the 600 is a very long race. And for your first NASCAR race, I was actually thinking, you know, the 600 is probably not a good one to start with because it's so long.
As long as you bring food, you're pretty good.
We definitely ate pretty. We were both on these weird diets, and as you know, NASCAR races don't really go well with diets. Although we were doing pretty good today. We were eating chicken, we were eating good stuff, and then next thing you know, she goes up and goes away around halfway through the race, comes back with a huge bag of cotton candy.
I needed some sugar to keep up. Like, it was intense. It was fun. It was a lot of fun though. But it definitely, I would definitely prepare for food.
Yes.
If it's your first time.
Yes.
And also keep in mind that your allergies are gonna strike like crazy.
Yeah, because she's real stuffy right now. All that dust that gets kicked up in the air at one of these things, you know, messes with the allergies. But I love it. I love the smell of a NASCAR race, except for when I think it was William Byron's car, the engine blew tonight. That was not a pleasant smell. But I love the smell of the racing fuel and the restarts.
Luckily, I didn't really get to smell it. So
your nose
I just thought
down.
it was pretty cool just to watch the whole thing.
Yes.
And to actually see it in person.
Yes, racing is fun. And NASCAR is fun. There's nothing like seeing a race live. The only part that sucks right now is that the traffic getting out of Charlotte Motor Speedway is the worst. It is the absolute worst trying to get out of this place. They have not perfected it. Atlanta Motor Speedway is the best track to get out of.
But if you haven't experienced a NASCAR race, it's definitely something you should at least experience once in your lifetime. It's nothing like it, and it's pretty fun.
Yeah. It is. You should try the the Rolex 24 hours of that.
I don't know about that.
I know. A lot of people said I was crazy. I went by as you know, if you know, for following my channel, I went by myself in January and sat in the grandstands of Daytona for 24 hours.
See, I would want to be in the car.
That is dedication to motorsport.
Street race. I would want to be in the car.
See now that you said that, here's something that I've never experienced, and I think that we should do, because you were like, well, I like street racing and stuff like that. You know what I think you would like? And right over there is the Z-Max drag strip. I don't know if you can see it, but right over there is the Z-Max drag strip. And I've never been to a drag race, an NHRA drag race. I hear they're really something. And you might like the drag racing much more than, 40 stock cars going around in a circle. Mm-hmm. You might enjoy like the drag racing where, it's quick, but they race side by side down the line, You might enjoy that.
Guess it's another experience to try out.
Okay, and I've never even been to a drag race. I've been to every other form of racing there is except for that. So I feel like that's something that I should do, is go to one of those. And this line of cars hasn't moved since we've started this broadcast. So, I thought, hey, you know what? Let's record a video real quick talking about the race. And then maybe by the time we're done, bullshitting a little bit, the line will have moved. But it moved.
That one does.
Yeah, This line has not moved at all. Getting out of Charlotte is the worst. It is the worst.
I think the race was faster than the lines.
The race was a lot faster than the lines. It's crazy to think that they drove 600 miles in just a few short hours.
You will lose track of time when you do this, by the way. Believe it or not. Actually,
Today
forgetting
went by quick. We got down here about 2 o'clock, and then we walked up there and we started looking around and shopping and all that kind of stuff. And the next thing you know, it was like time to go inside and go to the race.
I still can't believe it's already night. Today flew by.
Today flew by. Today was quick. But yeah, I thought it was a solid race for the Coke 600. And Pocono is next week. I'm not a big fan of Pocono. I don't think that's a very exciting race. It usually isn't. And normally the 600 isn't really, but this one was pretty good, except for Kyle Busch did run away with it. But I thought the racing was good. I thought the racing throughout the rest of the pack was pretty good. Lots of side-by-side racing tonight. Passing, it was difficult to pass. Although at the end there, Keselowski was able to change tires in that segment, and he was able to get up to the front. I did like, there was a lot of guys that came back up through the field. But again, it's interesting. Again, the younger drivers didn't do as well, and the older guys are still beating them. They're still beating them. Kyle Busch getting the job done. Truex was up there. Jamie McMurray had a really solid night. Jamie McMurray was running up there towards the front. But the biggest thing I think happened in the race, and this is crazy, and I totally forgot to mention it at the beginning, Kevin Harvick hitting the wall. Who would have thought that? I got really excited about that, and Kels has no idea who Kevin Harvick was. I don't think she understood my excitement.
Nope.
But it was huge that the fact that, because I had been going on Twitter, as you know, I was going on Twitter all day today, and I was saying, how long before Kevin Harvick gets to the lead, starting last. And when he got up to 4th place, and then he hit the wall, and his day was done. And I would love to have seen if Kevin Harvick hadn't hit the wall. Could Kevin Harvick have gone up there and raced with Kyle Busch? Could we have had a tighter race? But it still shows that there are 2 cars this season that are winning all the races, and that is Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick. If it's not Kevin Harvick winning the race, it's Kyle Busch winning the race, and then vice versa with Kyle Busch. Kevin Harvick was in the race tonight. Kyle Busch made it a whole lot easier to get that win. Kyle Larson continues to be overall the best Chevy. Chip Ganassi overall had a really good race. Jamie McMurray got up there and looked like he was going to battle a little bit for the lead. He ran in the top 5 a little bit. Kyle Larson had a pretty good race until he spun out, but he was up there in the top 5. But someone else who really impressed me, Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson had a really good night tonight, finishing in 3rd, and that is something we haven't seen from Jimmy Johnson all season. He's been in a slump. So Jimmy Johnson showed some pace tonight. And you remember back in the day when Jimmy Johnson was winning all the races, Charlotte used to be his house, man. He was winning all the time. So this coming back to this track, I think, was good for him. It was the best run he's had this season. So I don't think that team has turned it around. I don't think this is something that we can expect to see going forward, but for this race, definitely that was good. Anyway, I'm going to go try to get out of here and get back to Raleigh. Thank you so much for watching Kel's first NASCAR race. She is now she is no longer a NASCAR rookie. She is a NASCAR veteran now, and she can tell people that she has been to a NASCAR race, and maybe we can go to more in the future.
Possibly.
But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I enjoyed the race. Stay tuned for more NRN, the Noble Racing Network, throughout the week. I'm Justin, and take it easy.